Okay, I'm going to tell you a little bit about my job. I work for a daycare. I work usually with the two-year-olds, the infants. I mean, I'm kind of all over the place. We have up to 5-year-olds, infants through 5-year-olds, and I kind of work with everybody, mostly with the 2-year-olds, the toddlers type age. Well, the other day, they had me with the 4-year-old class while the 4-year-old teacher was gone. And that's fine. I've worked with 4-year-olds before. I'm perfectly capable of being in charge of the 4-year-olds because I've worked with children for the last like 10 years of my life. Not a big deal. So it's a Friday. It's their splash day, which means it's water day. It should be super fun. And it was just the craziest day I have had in a long time working with children. All right, so first, they have their splash day and they're just not listening. They're just almost all of them are completely just not following the rules. They're just completely doing the opposite of what I want. So splash day ended short. It was cut short because they couldn't listen. And I felt bad, but I don't feel bad because they need to learn how to listen. They're 4 years old. They are perfectly capable of following directions, and they chose not to. So, we come inside, they change out of their clothes, and I'm trying to help. Some of them, need some help. And then there's this one boy. This little boy, I swear he's never dressed himself before. He was looking at his pants like he had never seen pants before. Like this was the first time he had ever been told he had to wear pants. Like he didn't know what they were at all. And then, I helped him eventually get his underwear and his pants on and his clothes on. And I said, okay, go put your shoes and socks on. Watching this boy try to put socks on was like watching a monkey use tools for the first time. Like he had no idea how to put his own socks on. I just kind of felt bad for him because he's a normal 4-year-old. He not delayed or anything like that. He should know how to do this. But apparently he's never dressed himself before and does not know what clothes are. I was just like, okay, that was interesting. But, whatever, moving on with our day. It's lunchtime. We're done changing out of our swimsuits and we're going to have pizza for lunch. Pizza day, that should be amazing, right? Yeah. Okay, so, we're going to eat some pizza. And guess what? It's the ice cream truck day too. So we all got ice cream after our pizza. Isn't that great? Who doesn't love ice cream? They're so excited for ice cream. Well, in the middle of lunch, this girl just, I have no idea what happened, but suddenly she just rose up everywhere, all over herself. Like, it got in her shoes and her socks and her pants and her shirt. Like, she needed an entire new ensemble. And she didn't have another pair of shoes, so she ended up having to go barefoot for a while. But, so once she finished throwing up, I took one for the team. I helped her clean it up, even though it was making me feel sick to have to look at that vomit and smell it. But, I did my job. I helped her. I took care of her and got her on her cot. She didn't get any ice cream because, once you throw up, you don't get any more food. I'm not feeding you anymore because I don't want you to throw up again. So, put her to sleep on her cot, let her go to bed. Then the other kids. I just finished cleaning up vomit, guys. I mean, I washed my hands and everything's good, but I don't want to deal with your whining because I just had to clean up somebody else's throw up. And almost all of them, are crying and whining because they can't have their ice cream right away. I really didn't want to give any of them ice cream after that. I didn't think any of them deserved to have their ice cream. But, I gave the ones who were doing their best jobs listening, and I gave them ice cream first. And the ones who weren't listening, I made them wait, and they cried. And you know what? They're 4 years old. They're gonna do that. They're gonna cry. But they did get their ice cream. I promise. I did not deny these little children of ice cream. But you know what? Sometimes you don't get instant gratification even when you're 4 years old. And especially if you're not listening to your teacher. Okay, so moving on. Nap time. Lunch is over, ice cream's over. It's nap time. Everybody took a nap. It was a great nap time. Nap time was phenomenal. I don't think I've ever seen the 4-year-olds have that good of a nap time before. So, I went on my break during their nap time. I come back and, it's the afternoon now. And they're going to be waking up. So I, start setting up snack. At 3 o'clock, I turn the lights on and everybody wakes up and they're all sitting at the table ready to eat when one of the other teachers comes in. It's the 3-year-old teacher. She's like, I got to give you a couple of my 3-year-olds because you only have, 6 kids, and we need to bump some kids around so that we can have somebody go home. And I'm like, all right, that's fine. So they bring in a couple of kids, and one of them, this little boy, he had an accident during nap time. So they brought him in with this change of clothes. We send him into the bathroom. He's 3, but he knows how to dress himself. I know this kid knows how to dress himself because he's been dressing himself since he was 2. When I was in his 2-year-old in the 2-year-old room with him, I watched him dress himself, so I know he can do it. So we sent him in there. He's doing his thing, I assume, whatever. Finished giving all the other kids snack, and everybody else is almost done. And I'm like, where is this kid? He's still in the bathroom changing. So I go check on him. I open up the door, and I scared him because I opened it up and he was not doing what he was supposed to be doing. This kid, when I opened the door, was dancing his heart out, like full on busting a move. Like, you could not believe he was getting down with his bad self. But he was butt naked, like no clothes, clean clothes on the floor, dirty clothes on the floor, nothing on this kid, just in his birthday suit, rocking out to no music. So I opened the door and I'm furious because I'm like, you're supposed to be getting dressed and you're dancing. Like, what is going on here? But so I opened the door and I'm like, what are you doing? And I scared him because he wasn't expecting me to open the door. And he just stares at me like wide-eyed, like, what? And just starts peeing everywhere. He peed all over the bathroom, all over his clean clothes, all over his dirty clothes. There was pee everywhere. So I eventually spin him around so he can finish peeing in the toilet. Once he's done peeing, I clean up the bathroom and help him clean himself up and get him some new clothes. And I help get him dressed this time because obviously I cannot trust him to change himself. So that was the bodily function number 2 for the day. We had some vomit, we had some piss all over the floor. So I'm a little frustrated. I had some crying. I'm just like, guys, I'm really getting mad today. It's not a good day for Miss Elena. So then one of the other teachers comes in. She's like, all right, you're going to send your kids to this room, and I need you to go in for the 2-year-old teacher so the 2-year-old teacher can go home. I'm like, great. Please get me out of this crazy 4-year-old room. These kids are driving me nuts. So, I move along. I'd send my kids where they're supposed to go. I'd go to the 2-year-old room, let the 2-year-old teacher go home, and we're going outside. We're playing outside. We're having a great time, me and like 5 2-year-olds. And, we're out there, and suddenly the one 2-year-old who's not in diapers anymore. This kid has been potty trained for a couple weeks now. He's been doing real good, but he just shits his pants. And I'm not talking like a, solid mass shit. It was like diarrhea. It was running down his legs. It was pretty bad. And, it was a really hot day out. So, I've got another kid who, as I'm trying to get everybody else inside so I can go clean up shit boy over here, this kid has rubbed sunscreen in his eyes, so he's bawling his eyes out. He can't see. He's in pain, and I feel bad for him, but I've got shit boy over here who I need to clean up. So I somehow wrangle all these 2-year-olds inside along with crying sunscreen boy and shit boy, and I get them both cleaned up. I get sunscreen out of the kids' eyes, and I get the poop cleaned up, and everything's good. Everything's great. I got, some of my kids go home, so I think I'm down like 2 2-year-olds now. And I'm like, all right, I dealt with shit. I dealt with piss. I dealt with vomit. I dealt with crying. We had ice cream. Like, what more can this day bring? You couldn't imagine. All right, so I'm told at 5:30 I need to go down to the pre-K room again with my 2-year-olds. So I will go down to the pre-K room with my 2-year-olds, so I bring them down there. And there's probably about eight kids total with my 2-year-olds. So they go, or so we decide we're going to sing some songs. We're going to just, keep them busy until mom and dad show up to pick them up and take them home. So we're doing this thing called Superstar, and, we sing to them, and they jump and dance and whatever, and we clap, and, when their turn is over, they sit down and the next person goes. So we get, we're going around. 2-year-olds are loving it. 3-year-olds are loving it. 4-year-olds are loving it. I get to this one little boy. I go, all right, it's your turn. Stand up. You want to jump? No, I don't want to jump. All right, that's fine. We're going to skip you, okay? I move on to the next kid. Call the next kid name, start dancing, start jumping, singing for him, start jumping. And the kid I just skipped starts bawling his eyes out, like unconsolable tears. Like there's no stopping this kid. He is just temper tantrum on the floor, rolling around, kicking, screaming. You would think that I just told him his dog died or something. Like he was just, nothing would make him better. I tried talking to him. I tried getting him to play with other toys. I tried everything I could possibly think of. I've got parents coming in trying to pick up their kids and trying to talk to me about their kid's day, and I'm trying to deal with this kid. Oh my god, it was insane. So like I dealt with hysterical crying, I dealt with vomit, I dealt with shit, I dealt with piss, I dealt with kids not listening. It was probably the most frustrating day I have ever had. And dancing piss boy now is hilarious. I think it's probably the funniest thing I've ever seen happen in childcare. But this profession should be a reality show. Like you got dance moms. Dance moms is nothing on just a day in daycare. It should be a reality show. Just the crap that we deal with on a daily basis, you could not imagine. It's funny, it's horrifying, it'll give you so much such a good feeling to see them do amazing things, and it can make you feel like utter crap. I love my job to death, but man, some days are just real bad. Some days are real good.